The Rams return to the Dome for another edition of AAC Women's Basketball. Bluefield takes on St. Andrews here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Well, everybody, Bailey Engel here. Glad to have you with us again as the Rams trying to make it 2 games in a row where they can pick up a conference W after winning on the road against Allen on January 30th, 71-66. A great game for Corey Mullen's team. They were down by as much as 8 in the second half, still able to storm back and get that win by 5 points. The Rams had 5 players in double figures, led by Danae Cox, who had 19 points. And now they're facing off against the St. Andrews team that is trying to rack up another win after being able to beat the Truett McConnell Bears. Still struggling, though, at 8-14 and 6-13 in the AAC. And also to note, this team headed by Yvette Sparks in her 3rd season with the Knights only brings 6 players to the hard court to play in this game. So St. Andrews definitely not a very deep team, as they will send out Courtney Rowe as well as Morgan Perkins, joined by Samantha Ring, and then right after that, Kayla Clifton as well as Ellen Dukes. Rams going to send out Danae Cox as well as Emily Hart, the sophomore from Independence, Virginia. Adrian Goodlett getting the start in her senior year, really going into the home stretch of her basketball career here in Bluefield. Kirabelle Lanier also going back out onto the floor, and that really just kind of notes for Bluefield's team. This is a Rams team with 7 seniors on it, so Corey Mullins making sure that this team can kind of push right here at the end of the season to be able to qualify for the AAC tournament that only takes 8 teams. So the Rams sitting right around 8th right now, taking on a St. Andrews team that is pushed out of the tournament as of this moment. Hannah Preservati joining the Rams on the floor as we will see what Bluefield can do here at the Dome today. Going up against St. Andrews wearing the blue, Rams in the white. St. Andrews going left to right, Rams going right to left, sending the 2 big players right to the middle of the floor. It will be Samantha Ring as well, or rather Morgan Perkins and Kirabelle Lanier. As Lanier taps the ball over to Hannah Preservati, and we are underway. Rams at 11-11, 8-9 record in the AAC. Preservati veers left, passes in the corner. Cox lets a 3 go, and it swirls out of the rim and rebounded by Morgan Perkins. Well, St. Andrews actually lost to Bluefield back in North Carolina just about a month ago. The Rams trying to sweep this Knights team today. Veering down the right side, Courtney Rowe lost the ball in the paint and tipped out of bounds by Danae Cox. So still no score, 9:32 left to go. Some fans starting to pile in here. We have some inclement weather coming in, likely at the end of the day. It's supposed to get 5 or 6 inches. Meanwhile, that inbounds pass tipped away and stolen by Danae Cox. Well, the redshirt junior from Chowan University really can take the ball up the floor, but she's really the primary 2 for Bluefield, as Hannah Preservati is the point guard. She has in the left wing, zips top of the key. Hart angles down in the paint, swings out left side. Adrian Goodlett. Around the arc they go. Back on the left wing, Emily Hart feeds Preservati, arcs a 3, rims out again, and a rebound for Ellen Dukes. So Bluefield trying to get those 3 balls going. They were able to do that against Allen University, but still, for the Rams, they can get a bit cold here inside the Dome. Onto the right wing, here's Kayla Clifton, the junior from Hampton, Virginia, transferred from Brighton Stratton College. On the left wing, corralled by Rowe, looking for someone to pass it to. Feeds top of the key over to Morgan Perkins. Lets it fly from 5, and the ball taps around and goes through the nylon to give St. Andrews the 2-0 lead. The Rams coming right back on. Have to see if they can gain some sort of offensive confidence, as Corey Mullins noted that his team had that against Allen. Preservati works right, passes in the wing for Danae Cox, feeds Goodlett, pops it over in the left corner. Emily Hart skates down the baseline, floats, and misses. Got her own offensive board, though, puts it on the deck, and starts to veer off on the right side. 8:15 left to go first quarter. Adrian Goodlett shoots for 3. Not a good shot at all for the senior, as it just goes into the hands of Morgan Perkins. Taking the ball across midcourt, it's Courtney Rowe, 2-0. About 2 minutes elapsed here inside the Dome. Bounce on top of the key over to Ellen Dukes. Feed down low to Perkins off of her right hand, and the ball bounces on the left side of the basket out of bounds. That'll halt the clock at 7:55. Rams still down 2-0. They have not hit a shot as of yet, already taken a 3, both from Adrian Goodlett as well as Danae Cox. Preservati passes left wing over to Emily Hart. Starts to jog back up towards the top of the key and passes right wing Preservati. Feed to Goodlett, lets it go from the free throw line and uses the bank to her advantage. 2-0. Now turns to 2-2 with 7:35 remaining in the first quarter. Kind of see what St. Andrews can try to do here, where the Rams really have a little bit more to play for than the Knights, but still not a month left of the season as we are here in February 1st. Lob down low, ugly layup for Ellen Dukes, and a rebound fought hard by Bell Lanier. Here comes Preservati. Rams go 3-on-2 as Preservati feeds right. Danae Cox underhands back to her point guard. Preservati shoots for three. Back iron miss, and it's pulled down by Adrian Goodlet. Here's Bell Lanier, pops a mid-range from the left side and misses as Bluefield goes 0 for 2 right in that possession. One arm pass on the left side. Kayla Clifton sinks the triple, and now St. Andrews has the 5-2 lead. The Rams trying to answer on that end. Kayla Clifton with her first shot of the game, and she's able to sink the tray. So Preservati passes left side. Kiera Bell Lanier, who is a little bit of a difference maker against Allen University. Danae Cox arcs a three. Back iron bounce onto the right side. Rebounded by Bell Lanier. Hook shot off the glass and punched through. Timeout called by Corey Mullins, and that will be our first break here in the Dome. 5-4 Rams down by 1 with 6:32 left to go in the first quarter. Whistle blows. We're ready to go here inside of the Dome. 6:32 left to go in the first quarter. Rams down by 1, 5-4 against the St. Andrews team they beat back in December. Now taking the ball across midcourt. Here's Courtney Rowe. Veers on the right side. Lets a three go. Right wing. That's a miss for Samantha Ring. Bouncing into the hands of Danae Cox. So the only team to hit a three in this game has been St. Andrews as the ball is picked away by, it looks like, Kayla Clifton. Goes right in front of the Bluefield bench as Clifton starts to bounce back on the right corner. Looks for someone to pass it to. Feeds top of the key Rowe. I got to remember, St. Andrews only has 6 players left to play in this one. Clifton at the top of the key, eyes the rim, pump fake, feeds left side, but swatted before that. That'll be the first foul of the game for either team, and it will be booked on Kiera Bell Lanier. Hannah Preservati checks out. Deanna Crockett comes in for the Rams, the freshman. And a pass coming up on the right side of the basket from Courtney Rowe. Bounce on the right block, swatted away. Danae Cox still picked up by Dukes, who underhands it right back to her point guard. A three for Rowe in the corner, no good. And off the ricochet, Emily Hart has it in transition. Going on the far sideline into the paint, feeds left side Cox. Another pass in the corner. Crockett doesn't like it. Back up to Cox. Her three. Good from the left wing. And that's the first triple for the redshirt junior. So the Rams have the lead. It is 7-5. 5.5 minutes remaining in this first quarter as the Rams bench starts to chant defense. More fans starting to pile in what is a windy afternoon here in Bluefield. Bounce in the corner, going down the lane, Ring pops it over on the left side. Dukes with a baseline jumper, air ball no good, and then on the other end, a rejection by the rim by Samantha Ring. Step in, a layup, good from Adrian Goodland. With the and one, the senior, one of Corey Mullins' only players in his career that has gone all 4 years with him, and now Goodlet will try to make it 10-5. Now it's 9-5 off of the made layup, and Adrian Goodlet goes to the charity stripe. Substitution coming in for one of the only bench players that St. Andrews has, and it will be Naja Shannon. Here's Goodlet with her first points of the game. 5:09 remaining in the first quarter. Couple of bounces from Adrian Goodlet as she eyes the 10. Fires and scores. Nothing but net. And now it is 10-5. Whistle, and now another substitution. Haley Turman checks in for Goodlet, fresh off the and one. And now here comes the sophomore to line up in the low post. So Bluefield with a couple of bigger players, her and Bell Lanier lining up in that zone defense. Taking the ball across midcourt, here's Courtney Rowe pointing for her offense to start to set up. Kayla Clifton with a hard drive, pops from the baseline, miss as Kiera Bell Lanier claps in the board on the left side. Bounce on the far corner, Danae Cox veers into the corner for Haley Turman, returns right wing. Bluefield just pinballing the ball around as Bell Lanier forces a pass left side off the hands of Emily Hart, who couldn't corral it in bounds. And there's a turnover for the Rams. Still up 10-5, though, over St. Andrews. Now another jog across midcourt for Courtney Rowe, the sophomore from Sandrock, Alabama. It's a St. Andrews team that is not deep at all, but Kayla Clifton trying to get it done from deep and misses another three. She's hit one in this game. Here's Emily Hart spinning out of the double team towards the front of the logo, and in the process, she had a double dribble. Looked like that she might have picked that ball up and tried to sell it to the officials, but they did not believe it. So a turnover gives it right in the backcourt to St. Andrews and a bounce pass in for Courtney Rowe. Rams snapped a 4-game losing streak when they went down to Allen a few days ago to win 71-66. Hard pass on the left side, tipped out of bounds by Samantha Ring. So right after the Bluefield turnover, they answer, forcing a Knights turnover. So here's 10-5, both teams with one foul apiece. Emily Hart looking at her coach as Hannah Preservati is on the bench. So Bluefield will put it in the hands of the sophomore to be the point guard in this one. Bellinier storms down the lane. Kick out left corner. Crockett for three. Too hard. Bellinier with a rebound. Puts it back on the deck. Zips out to Crockett, who returns top of the key. Emily Hart. Bluefield working around the perimeter now. Danae Cox in the right wing. Lob down low. Bellinier. A couple of hard dribbles. Lost the ball as she just dribbled it too high. It was eventually stolen by Morgan Perkins. 10-5 the score. Feed on the left side. Kayla Clifton. And now the shooter for St. Andrews lets it go on a long two and hits it. Makes it 10-7. And the Rams still up by 3. So Emily Hart and Bluefield starting to fall asleep a little on defense, right, or on offense rather, right off the and one from Adrian Goodlett. One arm pass to Emily Hart, who starts to storm on the right side. Down the lane she goes, feeds out right corner Bellinier. Zips top of the key, Crockett. Kick out left corner, Cox. And now back top of the key. Bellinier on one dribble goes on the feed over to Emily Hart. Lob on the right baseline, and the jumper falls for Kara Bellinier. Well, Bellinier looks like she wants a break. It is now 12-7, though, with 3:05 remaining first quarter. Rams starting to find some offensive rhythm against the St. Andrews team that only has 6 players. So you got to believe that Corey Mullins will probably reach into his bench a little bit deeper to try to get some more experience going into the last month of the season. In the far corner, Courtney Rowe with a pump fake, dribbles in the lane, tries to underhand a layup, blocked in the effort, but picking up the pieces on the other end is Perkins, who kisses the ball off the glass to make it 12-9. Rams lead by 3 as Danae Cox has a hip-high dribble on the right wing. Pops it over Emily Hart, angles back top of the key, who passes in the left wing over to Kiana Crockett. Dish on the right side. Cox arcs a tray and hits the triple from the right wing. With 2:24 left to go in the first quarter, it is now 15-9. The Rams up by 6. So the three starting to fall for Danae Cox. Really what Bluefield needs as Courtney Rowe feeds in the right side ring. Couple of pump fakes, and now she tries a three. Misses as the ball bounces off of an air ball, and Bluefield will have the ball back with 2:07 left to go, going right to left. So for Danae Cox, she now has 6 points. And checking in for Bluefield, the Bluefield native from West Virginia, Tyra Jackson. Hard chest pass on the right side. Danae Cox as she hands it off to the Bluefield native. Just skating the ball right around here in the top of the key as Emily Hart is pounced on the defense by Samantha Ring. Now she's got herself in a trap in the corner. Passes, and it's stolen by Kayla Clifton. Minute 45 remaining in this first quarter as Clifton just jogs towards the top of the key. On the right elbow, picks it up and underhands back out to Rowe. Zip on the right side, intended for Shannon, and she couldn't haul it in. So a turnover as Bluefield made that ball go out of bounds. And now the Rams will get it right back. A minute 36 remaining first quarter. And Shekinah Huggins checking into the game, the senior from Newport News, Virginia. So the Rams really using a variety of point guards in this one. Emily Hart getting the reps at 1, as well as Hannah Preservati. Crockett on the dish on the right side, gets the ball back up top, and now Danae Cox in the left wing. Hard stutter step, steps inside the perimeter, and now a foul called on Nyjah Shannon. That'll be the second foul on St. Andrews and the first foul on Shannon. Inbounds pass for Bluefield. A minute 20 left to go first quarter. As Shannon swings out left side, Tyra Jackson feeds it right back to her point guard, and Huggins just walked right at the top of the arc. Another turnover for the Rams, and really, if you're looking at this on paper, this should be a game that Bluefield would have no problem winning, a team that they beat back a month ago. And now, St. Andrews only taking 6 players on this road trip, so the Rams have already reached in the bench and played so many more players than St. Andrews has in their arsenal. But it is 15-9, Rams lead by 6. Minute 10 left to go here in this first period. Shannon with hard pivot foot on the right corner, storms in the lane, loose knee-high dribble. Still corrals it back as she retreats towards the top of the key. Shannon with another chance, scoops with the right hand on the left side and misses. Rebound tipped and finally hauled by Huggins. 55 seconds left first quarter as Huggins starts to just stop that offensive possession and then just threw the ball out of bounds, intended for Danae Cox. Lazy one-arm pass right behind Danae Cox and another turnover for Bluefield with 51 seconds left. St. Andrews with a new start on this offense with 45 seconds. Here's Shannon in the far corner. Starts to go down the baseline. Hard dribble. Scoops with the right hand. Misses the hook shot. Rebound Huggins. Now the Rams will get it back going right to left. Shot clock still on. 34 seconds left on the game clock. Jackson storming in the lane. Layup chance. Just bounced away. And a rebound under the basket by Morgan Perkins. Now the shot clock has been turned off. 22 seconds remaining. Hard storm in the lane. Dukes with a bounce pass and kicked away by Haley Turman. Stolen by Crockett. Bounce pass right wing. Danae Cox pops a transition shot, and it finally almost bounced in. Jackson got the offensive board. Swings out top of the key. Tipped into her hands in the paint, and now Bluefield draws a foul. Thought it would be a tie-up, but instead it will be a foul called on Morgan Perkins. That'll be a team third for them. Now checking into the game, Tiana Scott, a freshman from Chesapeake, Virginia. And you got to think, if St. Andrews has any players that foul out, well, we have to really see what they can do there because they only have 6 players. Pass inbounds on the right side, 6 seconds remaining. Top of the key, Crockett angles down the left side, spins at the free throw line, shoots at the buzzer, misses, and Bluefield will still go into the second quarter, leading 15-9 over St. Andrews. Six points for Bluefield's Danae Cox as the Rams also lead by 6, 15-9 here in the second quarter. Courtney Rowe and St. Andrews only have 6 players to operate with as a bounce pass down low over to Clifton. Pulls up for 2 and knocks it in off the glass. Kayla Clifton doing a pretty good job for this very young and very shallow team from St. Andrews. Now she has 5 points. Now pass on the other end. It is 15-11. Rams up by 4. Going down the left side. Swings out onto the left wing for Tiana Crockett. Angles in the paint. Loses the ball as it's loose and corralled by Ring. Here comes St. Andrews on the other end. Kayla Clifton with a far pass on the side for Courtney Rowe. Thinks about a step back 3, but then overheads it over to Samantha Ring. Now starts to step back and storms down the lane. Scoops with the right hand. Fouled on the layup, and she did not make it. Well, Autumn Hash into the game. She's been banged up this week. But now, looks like Corey Mullins will try his best with his senior power forward. Also one of the players that can really shoot for Bluefield as well. Fourth-year player coming out of Tazewell, Virginia, is Samantha Ring. Shoots and scores. Put St. Andrews right back within 3 points. It is 15-12. Referee bounces back over to the shooting guard, the sophomore from Carthage, North Carolina. Follows through with the right hand, back iron, bouncing in front of the basket, and hauled in at the hips by Kiara Bellanier. 15-12, Rams lead by 3. Hannah Preservati back onto the floor for Bluefield. She has it in the left wing, stutter step, and now starts to retreat out into the corner. Looking for some help, and overheads at top of the key, bouncing into the hands of Tiana Scott. Freshman really doesn't get to play a ton of minutes, but now playing against St. Andrews. Autumn Hash powering down the lane, swings out with 8 to shoot. Preservati, foot on the line, sinks it. And they will only call that a 2, as the official did not fall for that. So Preservati hits the long jumper to make it 17-12. Courtney Rowe to take the ball across midcourt once again, walking on that Blue Rams logo. Knights going left to right. Now Rowe swings out left wing. Samantha Ring flies a 3 and sinks it. 17-15. You got to give it to St. Andrews. They are still fighting with the Rams. As Hannah Preservati underhands Crockett, who states to take the ball back up top. As Preservati misses from the back of the basket. She tried a 5-footer from the baseline and did not have the right angle. So taking the ball right across midcourt. Here's Naja Shannon. Gara Bellanier setting up in that zone defense. Shannon slipped in the lane. Loose ball. Scott Crockett trying to force that tie up, and she does. So Bluefield will have it back on the possession arrow. Whistle blows. Adrian Goodlett as well as Danae Cox back into the game. Now Goodlett has 5 points for Bluefield. She bounces in to Hannah Preservati. Rams lead by 2. It is 17-15 with 7:52 remaining in the half. Pass top of the key, Goodlett now starts to go in the lane, pops from the elbow, swirls out of the cup, looking for the rebound. Dukes hauled it in, but Goodlett trying to force a tie-up. That'll provide some applause for Corey Mullins, but still the possession arrow points the way of the Knights. Bounce pass in for Courtney Rowe. St. Andrews has been fighting well behind Kayla Clifton, as well as a couple of players for them. Courtney Rowe has been able to storm the ball down the court. Meanwhile, a foul called. It's going to be a push-off out of the screen on Danae Cox, her first and a team second here in the second quarter. And a bounce pass in for Kayla Clifton as she is parked right in front of that Bluefield bench. Clifton with a hard head fake onto the right corner as Goodlett steps up the defense. Pass inbound, stolen away by Danae Cox. Has a lane to the basket. Stops, shoots, and fouled as she missed the shot. Well, Danae Cox, after initially stealing that ball, had to look back to see who was going to defend this, but then realized that there were 2 players coming in hot, had the jump stop there on the left baseline and drew the foul. So Danae Cox will have 2 shots. First one for Cox, nothing but net. Well, that makes it 18-15. Emily Hart back into the game. Tiana Scott taken off. Or Tiana Crockett, rather. Couple of bounces. Fires, and the ball just rims out. 18-15, though. 7.5 minutes left to go here in this first half. Taking the ball across midcourt, Courtney Rowe with a hip-high dribble. Angles on the left side. Crockett on the hard-nosed defense. She bounces out of it over to Kayla Clifton. Now Goodlett stepping up on the defensive pressure with 15 to shoot. Clifton bounces right wing on a couple of bounces over to Courtney Rowe. Hard bounce down low to Dukes. Pops on the hook shot and misses off the block from Autumn Hash, and the ball is just punched out of bounds. So now with 6 seconds remaining on the shot clock and 7:05 in the half, looks like St. Andrews will have to force a quick possession here. Courtney Rowe to throw the ball in. Bluefield really on St. Andrews like glue in the past minute. Rowe looking for help, bounces on the left block. Clifton fires and misses. Rebound snatched by Danae Cox. Trying to move fast in transition. Cox feeds on the left side, Emily Hart. And now Bluefield looks like they're going to slow it down around the perimeter. Almost lost the ball as Hart underhands over to Preservati. Around the arc they go. Hash with the long 2, misses on the baseline. So now bouncing into the hands of St. Andrews. And once again, Courtney Rowe will provide the point guard duties for St. Andrews Knights. 6:38 remaining in the first half. As Rowe storms onto the right side, backs out, pivots, a pass over onto the top of the key for Kayla Clifton. Just 12 seconds to shoot. Clifton decides to fire a 3. Back iron, bouncing into the hands of Danae Cox. Here comes Bluefield, though. Cox outlets Hart, going down the left side of the paint and retreats it back out to Autumn Hash. Bluefield now just popping the ball around the perimeter, looking for that open shot. Danae Cox wrestling for the ball, finally gets the pass up off of her behind as Hannah Preservati angles down the right side of the paint. No look Hart pass on the right side. She missed the baseline shot, and a rebound hauled in by Kayla Clifton, but in the process it looked like Autumn Hash pushed down Ellen Dukes. Crockett checking in for Hannah Preservati. That'll be the first foul on Autumn Hash. And the third foul for Bluefield here in the second quarter. 6:02 remaining. Well, Hash, you can kind of give it to her that she is one of the more aggressive players for Bluefield and sometimes can get into those foul trouble situations. Ellen Dukes with a hard pass into Nyjah Shannon. Shannon pops it back as St. Andrews struggling to get the ball across midcourt now. Courtney Rowe with a couple of pump fakes finally gets it across midcourt as Samantha Ring is tackled on the other end. That was a hard pass. Haley Turman absolutely trucked the guard, and now she's on the floor and seems to be a little bit shaken up with the score being 18-15. Rams only leading by 3. And that will be a foul on Haley Turman. And just an ugly collision, and now Samantha Ring starting to favor her head as we take a break here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. 5:51 left to go, first half. Oh, good news for Samantha Ring now getting up as St. Andrews will just operate with 5 players seemingly. That's the first foul on Haley Turman and Bluefield's 4th foul of this half or this second quarter. Now an inbounds pass for Courtney Rowe, just swings it way up in the air to be caught by Kayla Clifton. And a Crockett on the defense. Clifton veers right off of a screen. Euro step, lets a layup fly, and now after it goes through, it is just a 1-point lead for the Rams, 18-17. Pass onto the right side. Danae Cox trying to get something going for Bluefield. Now Goodlet sprints in the lane, loses the ball, and picked away by Ellen Dukes. St. Andrews only playing with 5 players that they have brought here. They only took 6 on the bus, and now one of them hurt in the collision with Haley Turman. 5:20 left to go in the first half. Good little pass down low, popped up on the shot and rattled in. St. Andrews has rallied back in this one. 19-18 they lead after Morgan Perkins punched the ball through. 5:05 left to go first half, and Bluefield has the entire bench to play with and finds themselves down by 1. Pass up top of the key as Emily Hart backs out. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Lob in the left corner. Danae Cox zooms it back over to her point guard. Swings out right key. Crockett lets a 3 go. Not too good on the right side as it bounces onto the left end of the rim. 4:44 left as St. Andrews somehow has the lead at 19-18. And another whistle is blown as it looks like Ellen Dukes is a little bit shaken up. And you got to remember, St. Andrews only brought 6 players. And now if this one is hurt, they will only have 4 players to play with. Now Bluefield starting to meet with Corey Mullins as he is just wondering where the energy is for this team. And rather that player hurt was Kayla Clifton. Another reminder that the Rams men's team tries to bounce back from 2 straight losses. Coming up right after this game, Kayla Clifton seems to be okay, and Nyjah Shannon will join her out there as Shannon will likely be the point guard or Courtney Rowe with 4:42 left to go in this first half. Lob inbounds for Nyjah Shannon and bounces it right back to her point guard coming out of Sand Rock, Alabama. Here's Courtney Rowe with a hip-high dribble, starts to pop it on the left side. Kayla Clifton has been the star for St. Andrews in this one. Crossover dribble, Crockett on the defense, 10 to shoot. Clifton hoping for a screen, works left off the screen, passes down low for Perkins, and she couldn't get it to go off of the pick and roll as Perkins let it go off the right side of her hand. So 19-18. St. Andrews has worked back into a lead in this game. So Emily Hart trying to get Bluefield back into it in a game where they really can't afford to lose. On to the right side, Danae Cox starts to jog top of the key and now feeds on the left end for Hart. Zip at the free throw line. Hart, or rather Turman, shoots and misses on an air ball from 15 feet. Ball going right back to St. Andrews. 4:06 left to go in the first half. And now Bluefield will start to operate in another zone defense, wondering how they are losing in this one. Hard bounce down low. Perkins returns right wing over to Rowe. Another bounce into the right block, and Haley Turman draped up over the back of the forward. Not just her second foul of the contest. Not a lot of energy from the Rams in this one, and kind of a dull crowd as well. With 3:54 left, now a bounce into Morgan Perkins. Already has a few points in this one. Shoots and swishes. Give St. Andrews a 2-point lead. Autumn Hash back into the game after Haley Turman fouled twice. And now the Rams will try to fight on this one, pending a missed shot. Couple of bounces. Perkins shoots, rims out left side, rebound Adrian Goodlet. 3:50 left to go, first half. Emily Hart jogging across that half-court line, still trying to find a shot. Bluefield has been offensively dormant. Emily Hart scoops with the right hand, and there goes your dormancy right through the net. 20-20 tied up again, and now some energy being played back into the Rams defense. Here comes Morgan Rowe, or rather Courtney Rowe on the right side. Pivots looking for some help. Feeds top of the key. Dukes with a long two. Nothing but net. 22-20. Well, the Rams starting to trade these haymakers right now as Emily Hart goes into the right side. Both teams playing some defensively sound basketball. Open lane for Hart instead. Swings out left side. Cox. Now cross-court lob. Adrian Goodlet with 16 to shoot and 3:10 left to go. Rams down by 2, 22-20. Emily Hart feeds Goodlet. Pops left wing. Cox lets a long three go. Nothing but net, and the Rams have the lead. Well, Danae Cox hit the pro-length jumper from the left wing, and now the Rams have the lead again, 23-22. Courtney Rowe with a pivot in the right wing, pressured hard, bounce on the right block for Perkins, who spins and sinks the baseline jumper. Now the lead right back to 1 for St. Andrews, who have trailed by as much as 6 points in this first half. 2:35 left to go first half, and now the Rams are down by 1, 24-23. Into the right wing, Cox feeds over to Emily Hart. Lost the ball at the elbow and now pops it back over to Danae Cox. Misses a three, rimming into the hands of Kayla Clifton. Cross-court pass over to Courtney Rowe, and as she goes across midcourt, timeout called by St. Andrews, 24-23. Rams trailing by 1 with 2:20 left to go here in the first half. Back into the game, St. Andrews leads by 1. It is now 24-23 with 2:15 left to go. Rowe bounces right elbow over to Morgan Perkins. Spins off the defense from Autumn Hash, and her kick out on the left side goes right through the hands of Nija Shannon. Rams starting to really trade leads in this game with St. Andrews. Now Shekinah Huggins back into the game as the point guard for Bluefield. Hannah Presserfani not really getting as much playing time as she normally does. Swings out on the right side into the corner. Danae Cox arcs it back top of the key. Emily Hart, 17 to shoot, under 2 minutes left to go in this first half now. Huggins swings out right side. Danae Cox launches a three. Hard bounce off the right iron, and Danae Cox tried to storm in the lane for the rebound, and she seems to be a bit shaken up. She was fouled by Kayla Clifton. That's her team second in her first personal in this game. That stops the clock at 1:48. Bluefield will have an inbounds pass right next to the basket. Skyna Huggins kicks left side. Adrian Goodlet working off the defense of Shannon. Huggins with no one around her lets a three go and swishes it. 26-24. Rams up by 2 now with 1:35 left to go in the first half. Courtney Rowe dribbling with a right hand. Her bounce pass kicked away by Autumn Hash, but then Perkins picked up the pieces on the right wing. Now in trouble. Perkins lost the ball, but walked. She dragged her pivot foot, and Bluefield able to force a turnover there with just 1:25 left to go in the half. Leading by 2 now, 26-24. Huggins, fresh off of her first triple of the game, jogs the ball right across midcourt. Passes right wing, Danae Cox trading the ball around in this one. The Rams have led by as much as 6, now back up by 2. Huggins with a head fake in the right corner, swings out left wing over Danae Cox, looking for someone to go inside. Huggins, another pivot, lost the ball, loose near the logo, picked up by Huggins. 8 to shoot, kicks on the right side, Adrian Goodlet. Now swings top of the key, hard passes left. Danae Cox shoots for 3, back iron miss with about a second left on the shot clock. Well, that pinballed rebound went finally for Ellen Dukes in the backcourt. And now Shannon will take the ball from the backcourt to the front court here, walking right across the Rams logo with 45 seconds left to go in the first half. Rams lead by 2. Morgan Perkins dribbled in the lane and was fouled by Autumn Hash. That'll be the senior's second foul. And now she will go to the line for 2 shots, as that is the team's 5th foul. So now into the bonus. Now Morgan Perkins, 1 of 2 from the line, tries to make it 3 of 4, or 2 of 3 rather, and she does. Now she'll try to make it 3 of 4. So 26-25. Perkins doesn't waste any time and hits both free throws to tie the game at 26-26. Got to remember that the Rams did win this game in convincing fashion back on December 11th, 68-56, and now they're tied up 26-26. Autumn Hash passes up to Emily Hart. Hart dishes left side, working around the left end of the basket with 15 on the shot clock. Top of the key. Hart shoots for the tray and nails the triple from the top of the key. Well, they said her foot was on the line, rather, 28-26. Shot clock off. The Rams have the 2-point lead once again. 11 seconds remaining in the first half as Courtney Rowe waits for that night's last shot. Rowe jogs on the right side, now enters the perimeter, bounces right corner. Kayla Clifton pops from the elbow, swish, as the buzzer sounds, and we will go to halftime, tied up at 28-28 here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Two total players in double figures as we're just about ready to start the third quarter, all tied up at 28-28, St. Andrews as well as Bluefield. Here at the Dome in an AAC matchup that the Rams really do not want to drop today after ending that four-game losing streak just a couple of days ago against Allen, taking on a St. Andrews team that is only 8-14 and 6-13 in the AAC. But still forward, Danae Cox, the Rams kind of relying on her shooting as the Rams are only shooting 37.9%. Behind her in the scoring efforts, Adrian Goodlett has 5. And then really the Rams not getting anything done offensively, shooting 11 of 29. St. Andrews on the other end, 11 of 22 in this one, led by the scoring efforts of Morgan Perkins, who has 11 points and from the free throw line is 3 of 4. So here we go, ready to start the second half. Rams will start out with the ball going left to right. Emily Hart, as well as Hannah Preservati, Belle Lanier, Adrian Goodlett, and Danae Cox all onto the floor. Well, Belle Lanier only has 4 points. Got to expect for her to really kick it up a notch offensively and line up in that low post. As Emily Hart swings out right wing, Danae Cox hoping to pass the ball around the arc. Here's Hannah Preservati. Her lob picked away by Morgan Perkins. She jumped that pass like a cornerback does in football. And now it's still 28-28. Just about 20 seconds elapsed here in this first minute of the second half. Kayla Clifton starts to veer right into the right wing. She goes, pivots, and pressured on the defense by Hannah Preservati. Tip pass hauled in up top with 10 to shoot by Morgan Perkins. Hands off row, top of the key. Off a screen, starts to veer back right. 5 to shoot now. Down the lane she goes. Steps, shoots, and misses. Tipped on the rebound and finally corralled by Belle Lanier. Almost swatted away by Courtney Rowe right into the basket. Here comes Hannah Preservati. Feeds right side. Emily Hart pivots. Swings top of the key. Danae Cox kicks left side. Goodlett feed down low. Belle Lanier bounces right side and picked away by Courtney Rowe. Here comes St. Andrews on the other end, and with 9 minutes left, it is still tied. Pass down low, kicked and stolen by Bluefield. Still loose. Now on the other end, here's St. Andrews with the shot. Morgan Perkins shot it, and now an offensive foul as Danae Cox flopped back, and Bluefield charges St. Andrews with their first foul of the entire second half. Meanwhile, that's the third foul on Morgan Perkins. Now checking back into the game, Autumn Hash. Got to remember that St. Andrews only has 5 players to work with, and one of their players that they brought, the 6th that they brought on the bus, is already hurt. Samantha Ring was really knocked down by Haley Turman there in the first half. So she seems to be out of the game as Emily Hart fakes, passes left side. Hannah Preservati now 13 to shoot, starts to go down the lane. At the right elbow, passes right corner. Danae Cox launches a 3. Front rim miss. Rebound, Adrian Goodlett. And now Bluefield can restart on offense. 28-28 still the score. Danae Cox bounces left baseline. Autumn Hash shoots and misses from the left baseline again. And now here comes St. Andrews looking for the first basket of the entire second half for either team. 28-28. Kayla Clifton launches into the paint, looking for the shot. Ellen Dukes, and she is just smacked around by Adrian Goodlett as well as Autumn Hash. She's got to see who the foul will be charged on, and the culprit is Autumn Hash. That's her third foul, and the team's first in the third quarter. Still tied up, 28-28, as Ellen Dukes will go to the line for the first time as she fires and scores, 29-28. This has been a tough stretch of games for the Rams, if you think about it, a very packed week, as they will have 3 games in a row, Saturday to Monday this weekend. So Ellen Dukes fires again and misses as the ball swirls out, popping into the hands of Hannah Preservati on the right side. Taking the ball across midcourt, Bluefield playing in that packed week, really a time to test them going into that tournament. Preservati thinks about a 3, decides to shoot. Good thing she did as the ball barrels through, and now it is 31-29 for the first points of the half for Bluefield. Meanwhile, for Preservati, that's her second triple of the game, the Princeton, West Virginia native. One of the leaders on this team, always pretty friendly to her teammates, even on those long bus rides. Now 16 to shoot, bounce down low. Morgan Perkins fouled as she's hacked into the paint, limping towards that free throw line. And that could possibly be a foul on Autumn Hash, but instead it's going to be called on Danae Cox, her second. So for Hannah Preservati, off of that 3, she now has 5 points. Shot, bounces, and misses. Stepping up to the line again, Morgan Perkins leading this St. Andrews team in scoring. Bricks the second free throw. Loose ball finally corralled by Nyjah Shannon. And now St. Andrews will try to restart where they had only one rebounder down low. Shannon bricks it through as now it is tied up 31-31. Shannon, a fierce player right there, got the rebound, fought for the layup, and really didn't have a lane to do it. Still sank the basket anyway. Into the right wing, Goodlett feeds top of the key. Emily Hart fists it over to Danae Cox. Feeds left corner. Autumn Hash missed the two, and now tipped into the hands of Kayla Clifton. 3 minutes have taken place here in the second half, and it's all tied up at 31-31. Pass in the right corner, Nyjah Shannon on the defense, Emily Hart in that Bluefield zone. Bounce pass, right block, shooting on the basket, Morgan Perkins, and now she missed. Rebound, Adrian Goodlett, outlets up to Preservati. In transition, swings over in the free throw line. Preservati steps back, takes the three. Front rim, miss, bouncing into the hands of Shannon. And now she's sprinting across midcourt on the far sideline, has nowhere to go as St. Andrews jogs in transition. Well, Courtney Rowe and Shannon have kind of mixed up that point guard duty for this team that only brought 6 players here, coming in at 8-14 and 6-13 in the AAC. Now 12 to shoot. Clifton starts to veer down the paint, step back 2, back iron miss, popping into the hands of Hannah Preservati. Rams now moving in transition. Goodland on the left wing. Hard zip down low, but it's kicked away by Nyjah Shannon out of bounds right in front of the Bluefield men's team. That's waiting idly by for their game coming up at just about 7:30, we think. Now a whistle and a timeout called by Corey Mullins, just a little bit frustrated with his team as they are all tied up 31-31 with the St. Andrews Knights. Off of the timeout, the Rams have it still tied up 31-31. Pass inbounds from Emily Hart to Danae Cox, and restarting an offense with Hannah Preservati. Dish in the paint. Hart puts it on the deck and fouled on her layup attempt right in front of the basket. So now Emily Hart will go to the line to try to get Bluefield back up in this one with 6:03 remaining third quarter. So Emily Hart, a sophomore coming out of Independence, Virginia. When really asked where Independence, Virginia is, she automatically noted that it's pretty close to Oak Hill Academy. First shot for her, swirls right through the net and makes it 32-31. Now, Oak Hill Academy did not go to that Big Atlantic Classic in Beckley, West Virginia last night, as they usually do. Meanwhile, back here at the Dome, though, Emily Hart makes both free throws, 33-31. Going down the far side, Shannon's pass tipped and intercepted by Danae Cox. Feeds Hannah Preservati, dish down low. Emily Hart steps back and clonks that ball through. Didn't look good at the first try, but then after the ball hit the front of the rim, it finally went through the net. Now Bluefield forces another turnover, going with that full court press. Pass on the far side couldn't be hauled in by Courtney Rowe, and on the Rams lead 35-31 with 5:44 remaining. Preservati with a dish down low. Here's Hart, floats from 5, and now she scored the past 6 points for Bluefield. Timeout called by Yvette Sparks, and now Bluefield is now up by 6, their largest lead since the first quarter. Now an inbounds pass, Bluefield up 37-31 with a full court press as they finally get the ball across the midcourt line. Here is Nyjah Shannon. This St. Andrews team had it all tied up at 28-28 in Bluefield. Courtesy Emily Hart have scored the last 6 points. In the corner, Courtney Rowe fires a three and misses from the corner, but Ellen Dukes hauled down the rebound and passes out to Kayla Clifton. Delayed choice to shoot the three and misses as the ball is tipped out of bounds. It's a push off on Ellen Dukes, and that is exactly what Corey Mullins wants. His team finding that energy defensively off of that full court press, and Emily Hart really took advantage of it offensively. So here's 37-31. 5:05 remaining in the third quarter. This has been the best stretch for Bluefield in this game. Working the ball around the arc. Preservati lobs right wing over to Kara Bellanier. Pops it back over to Preservati right corner. Now on the left wing, here's Danae Cox in the far corner. Bellanier storms down the baseline and still crowned that pass over to Danae Cox in the right corner. Autumn Hash lifts top of the key. Emily Hart. Chest pass right side to Hannah Preservati. Ball kicked out of bounds. Looped in. Shot at the buzzer. Autumn Hash finally plunked it off of that front rim. But on the rebounding efforts, Ellen Dukes towed on the far baseline. And the Rams will get it back. St. Andrews reeling a bit here. And you're really starting to see the effects of having no depth. Hannah Preservati chaining out a new offense. Hard overhead pass. Danae Cox returns left corner. Preservati misses the three, tipping into the hands of Nyjah Shannon, but wrestled away by Emily Hart. So now Hart has it at the top of the key. Passes right corner. Bellanier swings back out up top of the arc. Now in the far corner. Hannah Preservati through a double team. Feeds Cox with 20 on the shot clock. Cox jogs out of the double team on the left side. A hard underhand. Emily Hart feeds Bellanier. Pops along two. Nothing but net for the Verona native. And now it is 39-31, an 8-point lead that the Rams have accumulated here in the third quarter. Looking to get the ball across the timeline. Poked loose by Emily Hart. Picked up by Hannah Preservati. Underhands Hart on the left side. Layup falls. And that is why the Rams are starting to really pile on here in the third quarter. 41-31. Courtney Rowe, hard overhead pass through the full court press over to Morgan Perkins. Scoops with the right hand and fouled there by Kara Bellanier before she could get the shot off. So it will be a non-shooting foul. And it looked like St. Andrews was trying to line up there at the free throw line, but they won't get it. For Bellanier, that's her third foul, as it is for the team here in the third quarter. Both teams with 3 fouls. The magic number is 5, of course, in women's basketball. Now Morgan Perkins shoots from the elbow and misses. Now for the bounce, Autumn Hash with a rebound. Danae Cox splits through the double team, going straight down the paint. Swings out right side, Crockett, who starts to dribble at her knee. Swings top of the key, Autumn Hash. Dish on the right side over to Danae Cox. 3.5 minutes left to go here in this game. Bluefield up 41-31 on a bit of a run here. Emily Hart pops it back over to Cox, who returns it back to the point guard. 9 to shoot as Hart starts to go on the right side. Bellanier bounces left wing. Danae Cox lets a three go. Misses front rim. Put back. No good for Autumn Hash as the ball just went right over the basket and it was punched out of bounds by Ellen Dukes. So after the three did hit the rim, the shot clock is now at 30. 3:11 remaining in this third quarter. Emily Hart ready to slap the ball. Dishes far wing over to Danae Cox. Looking for a screen from Autumn Hash. Steps back near the perimeter. Now re-enters the paint. Swings out left side. Crockett with a hard head fake. Dances down the baseline. Now here's Emily Hart. Launches a three. Front rim no good. Rebound Nyjah Shannon. Danae Cox trying to wrestle for it and finally gets that screen away from Ellen Dukes as Shannon takes the ball up with 2:50 left to go third quarter. Both teams with 3 fouls apiece. And now the Rams lead 41-31. Going down the lane, Shannon missed the layup right side. Offensive rebound, and no putback, though, from Morgan Perkins. Rams have been able to pile it on here as Crockett starts to storm in the lane. Scoops with the right hand, bricks it in. It scores, but a charge is called. No foul on Kayla Clifton. Instead, it will be on Tiana Scott. And that's the team's 4th foul. Autumn Hash checking out of the game as the buzzer sounds, and that's Scott's first foul. And the Rams really thought that possibly could have been an and-1, but instead it is called a foul on Scott. Now here's Courtney Rowe, swings it around the backcourt, trying to get the ball across the timeline. They finally do with Morgan Perkins. Kick on the left side. Here's Shannon spinning down the baseline near the left elbow. Underhands Clifton, launches a three. No good, and bouncing on an easy board for Danae Cox. Well, the Rams moving fast. Outlet, Emily Hart scoops with the left hand and misses, but fouled. So she will have 2 shots here. That's going to be on Nyjah Shannon, her second foul. And now a timeout called by St. Andrews. Rams on top, 41-31, up by double digits for the first time in this game. And we'll come back with the rest of it here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Out of the timeout, it'll be 2 shots for Emily Hart, and she hits the first one. Makes it 42-31 now. After the timeout call by Yvette Sparks, this game was tied at halftime. Now the Rams are starting to fire back. 43-31 now the score after Emily Hart hits both free throws. Really a big part of the reason why the Rams are up by 12 is because of this full court press. St. Andrews doesn't know what to do. This time they find an answer. Rowe feeds in the right corner for Shannon, who returns it right back to the point guard. Bounce on the right block, Simpson starts to spin towards the basket and scores. Rather, that's Morgan Perkins. 43-33, 1:50 left in the third quarter. Emily Hart with a pass on the left wing. Danae Cox smiling as she passes the ball around the arc. And Bluefield really with a ton of confidence in this game. That's exactly what Corey Mullins wants to see. Right side shot, Emily Hart, back iron miss. Bellinier puts it on the deck, off the board, blocked by Courtney Rowe. Going on the other end, here comes Nyjah Shannon. And you can see out of that timeout, Yvette Sparks and her team just a little bit frustrated, only playing with 6 players going into this one, as another turnover goes right back to the Rams as the pass went out of bounds, intended for Kayla Clifton. Minute 17 left to go. A pass in for Emily Hart, jogging the ball right across midcourt. A minute 12 left to go in the third quarter as the Rams poured it on, courtesy of that 6-point drive by Emily Hart. That run really sparked this Bluefield run. Here's Danae Cox, moons a ball up in the air, miss, and a rebound for Courtney Rowe. 56 seconds left to go in the quarter. Courtney Rowe lost the ball. Danae Cox fighting for it, but she elbowed in the effort. And Courtney Rowe favoring that jaw. I think that Danae Cox a little bit frustrated there, but I think the referee made the right call. When she picked the ball away, she threw that left elbow up in the air and caught a piece of the jaw of Courtney Rowe. So now Rowe will go to the line as that is the team's 5th foul. And Cox will go to the bench again for Bluefield. Here's Shekinah Huggins back into the game. She's hit a 3 in this one as well. Now Courtney Rowe going to the line. Rams still lead 43-33, 52.9 seconds left in the third quarter. Courtney Rowe taking her long time here as she hits the first free throw. 43-34. I got to think this is the tempo that Corey Mullins and his team wants to play at. We talked about it earlier on this week as Rowe shoots the second shot and hits it to make it 43-35. That his team in the past really has garnered a lot of their momentum and their energy off of defense. And now the Rams are trying to do it off of offense in that losing streak. But here in this game, the defense really paid off so far. 40 seconds left to go in the third quarter as Bellinier pops from the left baseline. Short on the jumper. Rebound Morgan Perkins. So now SAU gets the ball back with about 30 seconds left to go in this third quarter. And the shot clock about a 5-second differential. Bounce onto the right block. Here is Morgan Perkins. Underhands Courtney Rowe, and Bluefield forced a tie-up. It will stay with SAU. So they were trying to do like a delayed handoff like in football, where the cornerback would hold it to like the last second before he ran up the middle, and he had nowhere to go. But now forces a turnover, or a tie-up now. 22.2 seconds, bounce on the left block. Perkins pops a shot and rattles it in off the glass. Makes it 43-37. St. Andrews back within 6. 13 seconds left in the quarter. Shot clock off. Bellinier in the right wing. overheads it in the corner. Over for Haley Turman. Huggins with a bounce. Feeds top of the key. Crockett now pass on the left wing. Hart dishes Bellanier. Shot from the baseline and sinks it as the buzzer sounds here in Bluefield. Headed to the fourth quarter, 45-37. Rams on top by 8 here in this AAC matchup. Rams up by 8. It is 45-37 going into this fourth quarter off of 14 points. Performance great by Emily Hart. On the right wing, underhands Preservati. Back up top to Brittany Holman in for the first time. Shekinah Huggins speeds in the left corner. Over for Bellanier. Swings out left wing. Over to Brittany Holman. Passes right wing Preservati. Working around the arc. Rams in a pretty bad spot here as the St. Andrews defense looks good. 7 to shoot. Passes to Huggins. Huggins with a shot from the right wing. And she nails her second triple of the game. Back up to an 11-point lead. 48-37. Rams still not letting go of that full court press. Hard overhead pass on the far corner over for Courtney Rowe as she crosses the timeline. Down the right baseline, bounces over to Perkins, and she is blocked by Haley Turman. Ball goes out of bounds, and now with 15 seconds on the shot clock, it looks like SAU will have another chance to try to get something going here. It's really tough for St. Andrews to go on the road with just 6 players, and now only playing with 5. There are no substitutions for this team. Bounce pass up top of the inbounds for Nyjah Shannon after Samantha Ring was hurt earlier on in the game. Now 9 to shoot. Shannon veering around on the right corner. Bounce down low. Stolen by Haley Turman on a pass intended for Morgan Perkins. Here comes Shekinah Huggins. Chest pass left wing. Preservati right back to her point guard. Huggins bounces over to Preservati. Those two working as the 2-point guards in this one. And we have also seen reps from Emily Hart. Huggins zips top of the key. Preservati now a lob in the right wing. Around the horn. Dish in the paint. Bellanier bounces left wing. Huggins spins, shoots, and rattles miss. Haley Turman with a rebound, bounces back up to Huggins, and Bluefield will restart this offensive possession as Hannah Preservati lackadaisically jogs it back up top of the key. I'll pass around the arc again as Preservati and Bellanier look for the open shot. Now 16 to shoot, pass up top. Brittany Holman bounce down low to Haley Turman off the errant pass, finally got it back. Preservati with 8 to shoot, a pump fake, enters the lane and hacked by Ellen Dukes. 48-37, the Rams starting to milk the clock here with 8:17 remaining in the game. Third personal foul on Ellen Dukes. Now a pass up top over to Hannah Preservati with a fresh shot clock. Brittany Holman turns, shoots, and misses from the free throw line. A rebound for Morgan Perkins. So Rams not out of the woods yet. St. Andrews has a really opportunity here to work with just the 5 players they have on the floor. Kayla Clifton has to get back into it. She scored most of her points back in the first quarter, only has 6. Dish down low. Perkins spins and tries to clock the ball in, but she's hacked by Haley Turman, who's had some hard fouls in this one. She has 3 fouls in the game, and make that the second foul on the first foul on Bluefield in the fourth quarter. Well, it looks like Corey Mullins might try to make a defensive change here as he was calling in. No substitutions, though, as Perkins returns to the line. Her first shot, back iron, swirls and misses. Ball just rattling around the cup now, an 11-point lead for the Rams. As Clifton now Morgan Perkins going to the line for really most of the reps, now is 3 of 7 from the charity stripe. 3 of 8, I should say. Going on the other end, Brittany Holman skating down the far sideline, and Hannah Preservati has it at the top of the key. Dish left wing, here's Shekinah Huggins, and now Bluefield really has a lot of confidence in Shekinah Huggins in this one. Open pass down low to Haley Turman, just knocked away by Morgan Perkins, and Bluefield will have another chance with just 14 on the shot clock. 7:35 remaining. Swing out of the inbounds pass, Bellanier dishes right corner. Preservati, foot on the line, misses, and the shot hauled in on the rebound by Morgan Perkins and bounced on a foul by Haley Turman. So that is Turman's 4th foul in this one. Now 7.5 minutes left. Happy to have you here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. It has been a fun third quarter for the Rams after Emily Hart was able to score 6 points in a row. Here's Nyjah Shannon going right in front of her own team's bench, starts to angle down the left side, bounces right block. Perkins fires with the right hand and scores to make it now 48-39. Right across midcourt goes Hannah Preservati, passes on the left side, Shekinah Huggins, who is starting to get a little bit more playing time. Did not see her as much in that game against Allen, where Bluefield was able to win. And now the Rams trying to hold on here with about 7 minutes left to go. Preservati veering off into the left side. Here's Huggins, left wing, off of the defense from Courtney Rowe. Pass up top to her teammate, dish on the right side. Turman, with no shot clock left, launched it at the buzzer, and that is not a pretty shot as it hits the top of the window and bounces out of bounds. Now it's 48-39, 9-point lead for Bluefield. And a pass inbounds as St. Andrews tries to get across this full court press. They finally do as Perkins cross-court lob into the right wing. Underhands over to Courtney Rowe with a hard head fake. Huggins on the good defense. St. Andrews trying to find those open shots, and they have not been very good at finding them as Kayla Clifton had the hard elbow in, and it looks like that was on Brittany Holman on the foul. And that will not be an offensive foul, it looks like. It is going to be on Holman. So Holman, to add insult to injury, gets the foul, and now she looks to be a little shaken up. As Kayla Clifton tried for that step back, and now it'll be an inbounds pass. That's Holman's 2nd foul. She's only played in the 4th quarter. 6:34 remaining in the game. Pass into the left corner over to Nyjah Shannon. Swings down low over to Perkins, puts it on the deck and working around the arc again. Here's Clifton, feet on the right side row. Now a little pass into Morgan Perkins, who clocks in another couple of points for St. Andrews. What a game for Morgan Perkins to make this a 7-point contest again at 48-41. Another reminder, there's a men's game right after this as Bluefield is trying to end that losing streak they have at 2 games. Shekinah Huggins, cross-court lob. Preservati in the right wing, goes in the lane, pops from 5, and banks it home. Hannah Preservati with a very athletic move right there, realizing she had to meander over to the basket and finally powered the ball through to make it 50-41. Out of the full court press, here's Courtney Rowe stepping back from the left wing. Brittany Holman on the defense. Bounce out of the zone defense, and Morgan Perkins fires again and hits another shot to make it 50-43. These St. Andrews players look tired, but they have not given up. Preservati dishes over to Haley Turman, who misses the left baseline jumper. 5.5 minutes left to go. Rams still up by 7. St. Andrews has nobody on the bench ready to play in this game. Nyjah Shannon, one-arm dish, right side, long 2, back iron miss for Ellen Tukes, and now Bellanier underhands it over to Hannah Preservati. Bluefield trying to put this one in a coffin here as Preservati passes on the right side over to Haley Turman, and out of that transition, the Rams is trying to find the open shot in the new offense. Here's Huggins, though, hits her 3rd 3, and that's a timeout called by Corey Mullins. 53-43, Huggins on fire, the senior from Newport News, Virginia. Back to the hard court, though, 53-43. Just 5 minutes left to go as Courtney Rowe starts to move through that defense, and Adrian Goodlet laying out, trying to get the ball back, but it's corralled by Ellen Dukes in the backcourt. And now a whistle, and they're trying to get the shot clock right. We were almost perfect. Almost had a perfect game without any shot clock issues, but, well, what can you say? 4:50 remaining in the game. Now St. Andrews down by 10, 53-43. Adrian Goodlet trying to fight to get that ball back for the Rams. Now the ball taken right across midcourt. Here is Courtney Rowe with a slow hip-high dribble right into the defense of Danae Cox, who picks the ball away on a pass. Rams going 2-on-1. Danae Cox trying for the reverse layup, and she is packed by Courtney Rowe. So Danae Cox didn't know that she had Tiana Crockett on the other side. She could have just dished it to her as they were going 2-on-1. And now, luckily, though, for the Rams, they'll have another chance on the left side of the basket. Here's Emily Hart. A hard zip inside to Adrian Goodlet. Hart with 14 points after that big third quarter. Passes right wing, Danae Cox, stutter step, and feeds Hart. Lets a 15-footer go and misses after the ball bounces hard on the back end of the rim. And a rebound on the left side by Ellen Dukes. Still a 10-point lead for the Rams. SAU playing with no bench players as they only came with 6 players, and one of them got hurt. So Samantha Ring not into the game for the since the first quarter. Meanwhile, the pass goes out of bounds, kicked off by Autumn Hatch, so we'll stay with St. Andrews with 14 seconds on the shot clock. So St. Andrews looks a little tired and a little winded in this one after Bluefield has been able to really reach into that bench. But still, fighting in this game as the Rams have still been a very good defensive team. Swing out on the left side, Shannon with a pump fake, hard dribble into the left elbow. Now 8 to shoot, zigzagging her way and passes on the left baseline. Perkins puts it on the deck, hooks with the right hand and misses, while the ball is tipped out of bounds off of the hands of Morgan Perkins, trying to swing it out over to Nyjah Shannon, and Bluefield will have it back with 3:57 left to go. Bounce in for Adrian Goodlet. Some reason looked like she was gimping off of that pass, but now smiling as she takes the ball right across midcourt with Emily Hart. Here's Goodlet, feed over to Crockett, a pump fake from the free throw line. Swings out left wing, Cox. Now into the perimeter, kick out right side. Emily Hart launches a 3 and sinks it. Make that 17 points for Emily Hart, and now a whistle off of the injury from Ellen Dukes. So the 3 makes it 56-43, and we're going to take a timeout here in the fourth quarter. 3:38, Ellen Dukes shaken up, and St. Andrews running out of answers here with the time running out at 3:38 left to go in this game. So after the injuries in this game to both Ellen Dukes and Samantha Ring, St. Andrews is forced to play with 4 players. So the Rams will play the 3.5 minutes left to go in this game where they already lead by 13 on a basic power play right now like you see in hockey. It's Kayla Clifton, shoots from 15 feet and misses. Rebound for Morgan Perkins, and now wrestled away by Autumn Hash. Tied up, and now it looks like Morgan Perkins might be hurt. So this St. Andrews team already came here with just 6 players. Morgan Perkins has been noticeably tired for most of the second half, and now just playing with 4 players. St. Andrews running out of answers here. They might have to play with just 3 if Morgan Perkins can't muscle this one out, as she nods and will go back on. The Rams have been able to reach deep into the bench, and unfortunately for St. Andrews, this has been pretty tough for them. The tie-up goes the way of the Knights, and in their blue jerseys going right to left will try to hit a basket. They're only down by 13 considering they have only played this game with 6 players. Here's a shot from the right corner. Miss for Courtney Rowe. Rebound for Scott. Rowe trying to punch the ball away, wrestles it down, bounces into the hands of Emily Hart. Now veering down the right side, pops from 5, misses the bank shot. Rebound still loose under the basket, wrestling for it. Ball finally clapped in by Courtney Rowe, and on the roll she walked. Ellen Dukes back into the game, and well, that's a pretty tough choice to bring her back in because she can barely walk, limping right off of the bench. She had to be helped off after that injury. So now an inbounds pass for Emily Hart with 2:57 remaining. Hart just lets it go way up in the air and caught on that far NAIA logo. Pass into the corner, Tiana Scott. Dish out on the left wing. Cox lets it fly and misses from the left wing. Rebound for Nyjah Simmons. With 2:45 left to go in the game, the Rams still commanding here with a 56-43 lead. Bailey Engel here. We're happy to have you on the Rams Digital Sports Network. We have the men's game coming up right after this, where the Rams play the St. Andrews Knights. As the ball is kicked out of bounds that time, or rather that's a foul on Autumn Hash. So the Rams, that's their 4th foul, and for Autumn Hash, also 4 fouls. Kendall Cloninger into the game for the first time after Danae Cox has gone scoreless here in the second half. 2:35 left to go here in this game. Morgan Perkins tries to fly another hook shot and just bricks it off the backboard. Autumn Hash trying to get through this full court press. Man-to-man defense as Courtney Rowe is all over Emily Hart. Swing up top of the key, Autumn Hash. Hash off of a screen, underhands over to Emily Hart, who has 18 points in this game. Make it 17 rather, as Emily Hart with a hip-high dribble starts to flare it over to Adrian Goodlet. Steps into a 10-footer, back iron miss, and hauled in on the rebound by Kayla Clifton with 2:05 remaining. Clifton jogging the ball right across midcourt. Moments ago, St. Andrews had to play with just 4 players. Going down the baseline, Rowe spins towards the basket and misses the layup. Loose ball, still picked up by Perkins, shoots from 5, and is fouled as she missed. So Bluefield, even though they're up by 13, continues to foul, and that is going to be on Autumn Hash, her 5th foul, so she is done. Haley Turman also has 5 fouls. So now bringing in a new player for the Rams, it will be Jontisha Haynes. Doesn't get a lot of playing time, the senior from Triangle, Virginia. Scott starting to jog back onto the, or Crockett rather, jogging back onto the bench. Haley Turman into the game. As Morgan Perkins will shoot 2. She struggled from the line. Swirls around the rim and misses again, popping out on the left side. Now St. Andrews goes back out onto the floor after that makeshift timeout from Yvette Sparks in her 3rd season at the helm of St. Andrews. Couple of bounces and Perkins shoots. Misses front rim again. Rebound Kendall Cloninger. Pivoting in the backcourt and flares it over to Emily Hart as Bluefield will try to take this ball right across midcourt. Now in pressure out of the double team. Finally underhands over to Adrian Goodlet with an open lane. Swings out left baseline. Kendall Cloninger. Ugly shot. Miss. Put back balls though for Haley Turman off of the offensive board. And now buzzer sounds and a substitution won't be a timeout. Emily Hart taken out of the game. Kind of Huggins in again with 9 points. She's hit 3 triples in this one. Minute 35 left to go. Rams up 58-43 now. And now A roll inbounds from Ellen Dukes, picked up by Courtney Rowe. Team down by 15, largest lead of the game for Bluefield. Chest pass into the right wing. Shannon gets past Kendall Cloninger, pops from 5 feet on the baseline, and the ball just nicked off the front of the 10. So a 15-point lead for the Rams, and this one might be locked up as Courtney Rowe pickpockets the ball, scoops with a right hand, and on the steal makes it 58-45 with a minute 13 remaining. So Shekinah Huggins just got a little bit lazy as Bluefield bounces out of the double team. Huggins feeds Cloninger, pops over to Turman, shot and hit from the far baseline, and now it's 60-45. Another whistle, and the substitution buzzer not working. Tyra Jackson into the game, the Bluefield native, as the Rams will now likely improve to 12-11 and 9-9 in the AAC, making it 2 wins in a row, barring a historic comeback here with a minute left. Hard dribble from Courtney Rowe, and now a walk called, and that might just be it for St. Andrews. You have to give it to the Knights, though, coming into this game with just 6 players really to work with, meaning 1 bench player. Ellen Dukes got hurt just a few moments ago. Now she's back on, but Samantha Ring likely with a head injury early on as Tyra Jackson bobbles the ball and swings it over in the left corner. Kendall Cloninger lost it off the pick, and now an outlet on the other end. Here's Clifton. Layup on the left side, she missed. Rebound, Kendall Cloninger, and she is pushed down into the baseline. Bluefield will get it right back. 35.2 seconds left to go. Rams lead by 15. Now on the floor, a couple of players that have gotten a lot of time to rest as well as rejuvenate to get back. St. Andrews has been playing with the same 5 since the second quarter. Lazy pass picked up by Ellen Dukes. Outlets on the right side. Kayla Clifton shoots and misses from the right baseline as Courtney Rowe can't stick the putback or off of her rebound. She's fouled, and she will have a couple of shots. Shot clock is now off, 17.9 seconds. St. Andrews fought so hard in this game. The Rams had an entire arsenal of players to really pick from. As you see right now, none of these players on the floor for Bluefield actually started in this game. Here's Courtney Rowe, the sophomore out of Alabama. Shoots and swishes to make it 60-46. Don't go away. We're going to have that men's game on another YouTube link in just about 20 minutes. Rams have lost 2 games. Lost last night in heartbreaker fashion in Beckley to West Virginia Tech as Courtney Rowe hits both free throws to make it 60-47. Pass inbounds to Shekinah Huggins, trying to get the ball across midcourt with a shot clock off. Over to Jackson. Crossing midcourt, now into the right wing. Feeds Cloninger at the free throw line. Swings left baseline. Haley Turman bullets a 2-pointer and gets it to fall with 5.6 seconds left. 62-47, right across midcourt. Rowe pops from the elbow and sinks it at the buzzer, and that will be the final score. 62-49, and the Rams able to get 2 wins in a row and another crucial conference win. Now 9-9 in the AAC. St. Andrews 8-15 now and 6-14. But really, so much fight out of this SAU Knights team. Stick around. 20 minutes later, we're going to have that men's game for you. But for now, 62-49, Rams able to win against St. Andrews here at the Dome.